Thank you. Okay, so let's get to another one. Audrey, I have nothing really interesting. It's just that I'm disorganized and I have a hard time getting things done because of that. I've missed appointments, I've missed deadlines because of my disorganization. What do I do? Okay. Sometimes when people are really disorganized, I wonder what it is about their life that is so disarming or disorienting. Sometimes people fear failing or they even fear succeeding. Now, you might think those are two separate things, but they're the flip side of the same coin. If people believe that they will fail or succeed, sometimes they just choose not to try at all. And that's scary. But there are ways that you can get yourself organized. So you must have heard of goal setting. And if you haven't, I'll tell you about it. It sounds like you need to do some goal setting. The first thing that I do usually when I'm feeling completely out of control is make a list. On a regular day, I make a list as well, but especially when I'm feeling completely torn, I do a to-do list, and it's an ongoing to-do list. And I use the BF system. What is the BF system? It's the bring forward system. So you would make a list of 10 things that you have to do for the day and check off at the end of the day that they're done. Those that did not get completed, you put a BF beside it and bring it over to the next day. My rule of thumb is if you're BFing it constantly, then it's not that important to you, unless it's something that you have no control over, like like the for us the where you get your license plate renewed. They've been closed for about a year and a half now because of COVID, and so that you have no control over. But if it's something like cut the grass or something like that, you have no interest in that. Do you want to cut the grass or do you want someone else to do it? If you have the resources, hire someone to cut the grass. I'm not a grass cutter. Someone else cuts the grass for me. Right now, somebody else cuts the grass completely. And so that's one thing, is to create a to-do list, have a BF, and if you need to abandon something, it's better to abandon it than to keep bringing forward until you can get to it again. The other is to create, I've made my own acronym and I called it RAT. I think it's hilarious, but I'm going to keep it and we'll call it Ben. No, we won't. You know the old Michael Jackson song, Ben, the two of us. I'm dating myself. Okay, so what is RAT? It's realistic, attainable, and timely. And so set goals for yourself that are realistic. If you are not a young person, you are not going to sign up to learn how to do ballet. If you have no musical abilities and you can't carry a note in a bucket, you are not going to be a great songwriter and singer. If you are 45, you're probably not going to break into the major leagues or the NBA. And so set goals that are realistic and that are attainable, goals that you can actually work on, and set some timelines to do this. I'm disorganized and I have a hard time getting things done because of that. So I think if you're able to set some goals, and maybe the first goal is to be organize my work area. How do I do that? Separate what is needed from what is not needed. And usually people who are disorganized, their entire area of living is disorganized. And so you might want to make a list, do laundry, make my bed. And these are simple things. Even if you want to take a shower, I sometimes put things that are simple to cross it off and to trick my brain into believing that I've been successful. Because when you see the check mark and the cross off, wow, I've done something. And the more of those you see, the more you'll want to do. So I'll put all those things on and just to make sure that I'm feeling successful and my brain thinks that I'm being successful. Okay, so I hope that helps you at least get started. If this is an ongoing issue, you may need to. They have courses on organization. They have people who can help you get organized, and maybe you might need a kickstart and then kind of get you into a rhythm in a rhythm of continuing on, but you might need someone to help kickstart you into getting organized and staying organized. Okay, I'm not sure what stage in life you're in. It may, if you're in high school, you need to move it forward because then you have college to think about and the rest of your life. If you're in college, you need to be able to be successful there in order to move on and to be successful in your work life. And so you do want to make sure that you're getting yourself organized so that you can feel more successful in life. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, all right. Hello, Miss Audrey. Hello. I just love your show, thank you. My question to you: my husband retired a few months ago, and I was a stay at home mom for most of our married life, but have worked part time for several years. I always take care of all the household chores because my husband supported us financially. However, he is now retired and nothing has changed regarding me doing all the household chores. I'm still doing all the cooking, cleaning, laundry, taking care of paying the bills, etc. I've always done whatever it takes to keep the peace between us, but now I'm becoming increasingly resentful. I don't know how to break this pattern. I've never had the nerve to speak up and express my anger and frustration for fear of not getting into a huge fight. Can you give me some advice to help me get through this trap that I'm in? I would like him to help. Thanks, Audrey. Well, thank you for emailing in, Cindy. You know what's funny? We give each other a honeydew list. What about giving him a honeydew list? Making it fun and engaging and interesting for him. I'm not suggesting that you do the heavy lifting, continue to do the heavy lifting by treating him like a child, but you're both kind of stuck in the same patterns where in his mind he's still going to work and bringing in the bacon and you need to take care of the household chores. So maybe do a honeydew list for him. Talk about what you want to do together. And I would suggest that you find other interests outside of the home. If he's retired, I'm assuming you're also in retirement age as well. And this is an ideal time for you to develop some interest of your own. It sounds like the kids are all grown as well. And it's time for you to do some things for yourself. Talk about equity in the home, that you need to look at ways of dividing the chores to make it equitable for the two of you, because it's important for you to do some things together. And speaking of which, you might want to consider doing some things together, but things don't get done until the chores are done. I'm not sure what you're both interested in, but it could be a good time for you to develop skills and activities that you both enjoy that could help in this situation. So I would, one, do a honeydew list and see if that works. I would speak to him directly and say, look, we're both home now. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that work has been difficult, and you're not doing that anymore. So let's try to work together to make sure that we get this house looking as spit spot as we like it to look. Look at developing some activities for yourself to do to give you some interest outside of the home, and the two of you as well. Look at doing something together. A lot of times when people retire, their relationships start to suffer because what used to keep them kind of buoyed and on a good equilibrium isn't there anymore. And so this is an opportunity to talk about the rest of the time you have together. What is it going to look like? How are we going to approach sliding into the twilight of our years? And that could be a really interesting conversation. I would suggest that if you're going to have this conversation with him, don't do a face-to-face thing. Sit beside him Do it in a really casual way because you don't want to appear threatening in any way. And studies have shown that it's much easier to speak to a man about a difficult issue when you're side by side as opposed to eyeballing him directly. I hope that helps. Okay.